Today we are going to solve sample question paper, that is term 1 2021-22 for class 12th biology. The question paper, as we know, it consists of 3 sections. Section A, which has 24 questions, you have to attempt any 20 questions. In the section B, it also has 24 questions, you have to attempt any 20 questions out of those 24. In the third, you have to have 12 questions and you have to attempt 10 questions. You can attempt those questions which you are absolutely sure about the answers. All questions carry equal marks. 0.7 is the marking for all the questions and there is no negative marking. Now we will be proceeding with the section A. Today, section A consists of 24 questions as we have seen. Now we will be starting with the first question. When we are starting with the first question says the structure of bilobed anther consists of. Now what is anther? We know it's a male reproductive organ in the case of flower. This is the structure of what? Stamen. And this is your anther. And this is your filament. Okay, now we have been asked about bilobed anther. This is a bilobed anther. When we will cut its transverse section and look under microscope, it will look like this. One, two, three, four. When we are talking in terms of the theca and sporangia, we are saying that anther is biathecous. So this is one theca and this one is the second theca. So by looking at the theca, we can eliminate option B and C. Now if I am saying that it is having two theca, then each theca is having two sporangia, and we have been asked of entire anther and it is having 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 theca and 4 sporangia will be the correct answer. In the next question, second question, we have been asked, we are provided with a figure of an ovule. This is an anatropous ovule. You have to choose the correct option from the following options A, B, C, D. We have been asked about the number of cells at chalazal end, number of cells at micropylar end, and number of nuclei left in central cell. So when we are looking at the structure, we have been asked basically about the female gametophyte or embryo sac. So what we will do is, this is the micropylar end and this is the chalazal end as per our figure, micropylar end, and this is the chalazal end. Now we know that in the case of micropylar end, we are having 3 cells over the place, 2 synergid and an egg. Okay, when we are discussing about these, we know that at the chalazal end we are having 3 antipodal cells. Okay, and this large one is the central cell. In the central cell we have 2 polar nuclei. Okay, so now when we are talking at the micropylar end, we are having 3 cells. We are having 3 cells at the chalazal end. So number of cells at chalazal end is 3, number of cells at micropylar end is 3. We can eliminate all the options by looking at just 2 things. And when we are talking about the number of nuclei that are left in the central cell, then then in the case the number of nuclei left in the central cell is basically 2. So option B would be correct. Next question is question number 3. In the third question, we have been asked that the coconut water from tender coconut is. When we have been asked with the coconut water, we have studied that in the case coconut is having two types of endosperm. Okay, now this two type of endosperm basically is free nuclear endosperm and cellular endosperm. The free nuclear endosperm is when the endosperm has undergone nuclear division and no cell division. And this is the case in the case of coconut water. And after the cellularization will occur, it will become the white kernel of the coconut. So we have been asked about just the coconut water, not about the white kernel in the case of question. So our correct answer will be B. Free nuclear endosperm is found in the coconut water of tender coconut. Okay. Now is question number 4. In question number 4, we have been asked that pollen grains are well preserved as fossils because of presence of what? When we looked at the structure of pollen grains, we found that there is an inner layer which is known as intine and there is an outer layer which was known as exine. It was like this. This outer layer exine is made up of what? Sporopollenin. Why this is made up of sporopollenin is because this is a material which doesn't allow the pollen grain to get decay during the process, as pollen grain has to face very harsh environment, very strong winds, water if it is a hydrophytic plant. So to have face all such conditions, we have the pollen grain is made up of sporopollenin. Okay, so this is the sporopollenin which enable it to preserve as fossils, because this particular chemical sporopollenin is very resistant to chemicals as well. So that's why the pollen grain outer wall is made up of exine, that is usually sporopollenin in nature. Next is question number 5. In question number 5, we are provided with the two seeds, seed X and seed Y. When we are looking at seed X, you can simply see that in all the options it is clearly mentioned that it is a dicot seed and seed Y is a monocot seed. So we were not required to look at these first thing. Now we have been asked in the question which one is endospermic and which one is non-endospermic. When we are looking at seed Y, you can simply see that this structure is what? The structure is known as embryo. And this particular structure is known as endosperm. It means what? That this particular seed is having endosperm. So this is a monocot seed and is endospermic or albuminous. So this option will go correct. Now with option 3, you can see over the place there is option 1 and 3 and option 2 and 3. Okay, we can eliminate third and fourth option. Okay, when we are looking at seed X, it is a dicot seed, but there is no endosperm in this case. In this case, these are cotyledons. That's why we are calling it a dicot seed, but there is no endosperm. That's why seed X is dicot and non-endospermic or non-albuminous. That's why option B will be correct. ठीक है. So in the case of seed X, the entire endosperm is consumed during the development of the embryo, whereas in the case of seed Y, we are still having some endosperm remaining after the full development of the embryo. Okay, next is question number 6. In the last video, we have discussed with the question number till question number 5. Today, we are going to solve question number 6. In question number 6, the statement says, which of the following statement are correct with respect to hormones secreted by placenta? What is placenta? Placenta is basically a structure that is responsible for providing nutrition to the embryo from mother body. Okay, so we have been asked about the hormones. Placenta secrete relaxin during later stage of pregnancy. The statement is correct statement. It secretes relaxin and it secretes during the later stage of pregnancy. So this particular statement is correct. Next is placenta secretes high amount of FSH during pregnancy. This statement is false. This is before. So, and this is not secreted by the placenta. That's why statement 2 is incorrect. So by looking at the options, now we know that option 4 is present in all. So option 4 is the correct option and option 2 is incorrect option. So by looking at this, we can eliminate this one and this one. And since we are saying that placenta secretes relaxin during later stage of pregnancy, these two are contradictory statement. So, but if we are saying that this particular statement is correct, then this particular statement will be automatically wrong. So, option 1 and 4 is correct for question number 6. So, option is correct. Now, in the case of question number 7, we have been asked what is X, what is Y, what is Z. Okay, so when we are looking at the structure, we can see that Z is what? This is the structure of an ovary. Okay, what is Y? This is an fallopian tube, or we can say this is an oviduct. And X is the endometrium layering of the uterus. So when we have been asked in this question about all these stages, okay, when we are talking in the case is Z, we will be starting with the Z. Z is what? This is ovary. And ovary contain what? Unfertilized egg. Therefore, in this case, when we will be looking at the options, we will be considering Z to be unfertilized egg. Only by looking at a single option, we have came to the answer. ठीक है, जब हम Y की तरफ देखेंगे, in the case of Y, ठीक है, तो Y is what? It is oviduct or fallopian tube. This is the region where fertilization will occur. Okay, so X, what is Y? This is a fertilized egg. So fertilized egg is correct. And what is X? This is the case where implantation will occur, and implantation occur in which stage? Blastocyst stage. ठीक है, this one is the stage. So this is also correct. So option C will be correct for the fifth question. Just अगर मुझे सिर्फ इतना भी पता था कि Z जो है वो एक ओवरी का स्ट्रक्चर है एंड ओवरी कंटेन अनफर्टिलाइज्ड एग, सिर्फ एक ऑप्शन से हम करेक्ट ऑप्शन पे जा सकते थे, हमें बाकी ऑप्शंस को देखने की ज़रूरत नहीं थी, हम ऐसे ही एलिमिनेट कर सकते थे बाकी ऑप्शंस को। तो इसलिए ऑप्शन सी जो है हमारा वो करेक्ट ऑप्शन होगा। नेक्स्ट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 8। इन क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 हमसे पूछा गया है कि पेनिट्रेशन जो होता है स्पर्म का ओवम के अंदर, उसके बाद क्या होता है। हमने मतलब बेसिकली oogenesis की प्रोसेस के बारे में पूछा गया है। ओके, वी हैव बीन आस्क्ड अबाउट द प्रोसेस ऑफ oogenesis। ठीक है, oogenesis क्या होता है? oogenesis में हम एग के फॉर्मेशन की बात करते हैं। ठीक है, तो क्या होता है जब हमारा oogenesis की प्रोसेस चल रहा होती है तो ये मेटाफेज 2 में अरेस्ट हो जाती है मियोसिस 2 के। ठीक है, अब क्या होता है कि ये इसी स्टेज पर अरेस्ट रहती है प्यूबर्टी के टाइम पर। ठीक है, until and unless fertilization will occur and penetration of sperm will occur, this will remain arrested in the metaphase 2 of meiosis 2। जैसे ही स्पर्म की एंट्री होगी वैसे ही जो ये पर्टिकुलर स्टेज है वो अपना प्रोसीड कर लेगी और कंप्लीशन हो जाएगा meiosis 2 का। सो ऑप्शन बी विल बी करेक्ट। Next is question number 9। Now in this particular question we are provided with the dioecious aquatic plant। Okay, we have to identify the characteristic feature of the particular thing। We have to look at the size, we have to look at the color, we have to look at the characteristic feature of the pollen grains। Okay, when we see about the size of the flower, since it's a hydrophytic plant, okay, तो अगर हमारे pollen grains का size, flower और characteristic features पूछा गया है, ठीक है, तो in the case अगर हम देखें तो जो हमारा साइज़ होता है फ्लावर का इन द केस ऑफ हाइड्रोफिटिक प्लांट, हम उसको चाहते हैं कि वो यूजुअली स्मॉल हो ताकि वो आराम से फ्लोट कर सके इस पानी के ऊपर। ठीक है, तो ताकि हमारा फ्लावर जो है वो नीचे सबमर्ज ना हो और फ्लोट करता रहे, इसलिए मुझे चाहिए कि जो मेरा साइज़ है फ्लावर का वो स्मॉल रहे। सो बाय लुकिंग एट A, B, C, D वी कैन एलिमिनेट B and D ऑप्शन। ओके, in the second case when I am looking at the color of flower, since we have eliminated option B and D, we are left with A and C। Now color of the flower doesn't matter in the case of hydrophytic plant, it matters in the case of those plants which are pollinated by insects, not in the case of plants which are being pollinated by water। So we can take into consideration white color। ठीक है, अगर हमसे करेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर पूछा जाए पॉलन ग्रेन का, तो करेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर की अगर हम बात की जाए तो when we are looking with white there is small covered with mucilage। अगर हम डायरेक्ट भी सिर्फ इस mucilage वर्ड को देखते तो हम डायरेक्ट इस ऑप्शन पर टिक कर सकते थे। क्यों? क्योंकि mucilage क्या होता है, ये एक ऐसी कवरिंग होती है पॉलन ग्रेन के ऊपर जो कि उसको पानी के अंदर रहते हुए भी वेट नहीं होने देती। ठीक है, तो जस्ट बाय लुकिंग एट द ऑप्शन दैट इट इज कवर्ड विद mucilage वी वुड हैव गॉन टू द करेक्ट ऑप्शन। ओके, नेक्स्ट इज क्वेश्चन नंबर 11। In question number 11 we have been asked that the thalamus contribute to fruit formation and what। हमें पता है कि usually it is the ovary that leads to fruit formation, लेकिन कुछ exceptions होते हैं। ठीक है, those exception includes strawberry। What happens in the case of strawberry is, स्ट्रॉबेरी में क्या होता है कि जो हमारा ओवरी है वो फ्रूट कंट्रीब्यूशन ना करके कौन कर रहा है, थैलेमस। थैलेमस क्या है, जहाँ से बाकी सारे पार्ट्स जो है फ्लावर के वो अराइज करते हैं। ठीक है, पेटल, सेपल, ओवरी, एंथर। ठीक है, तो जहाँ से बाकी सारे पार्ट्स फ्लावर के अराइज करते हैं उस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट को बोलते हैं थैलेमस। तो क्या होता है स्ट्रॉबेरी के केस में जो थैलेमस होता है वो कंट्रीब्यूट करता है टू फ्रूट फॉर्मेशन। और ऐसे तरह के फ्रूट्स को हम यूजुअली क्लासिफाई करते हैं एज फॉल्स फ्रूट्स। ओके, next question is question number 12. In question number 12 we have been asked that how many types of gametes would be produced if a parent is AABB. Okay, so it is heterozygous condition where we are provided with a capital A and a small a and two capital B. So what we will be doing is, in this case we are provided with capital A, small a and two capital B. ठीक है, so there is a formula to calculate the number of gametes. That is 2 की power n. Okay, where n is number of heterozygous loci. Now this is a gene and this is another gene. मतलब this is encoding one loci and this is encoding second loci. This is what, since we are having two different allele of a gene, so this is heterozygous condition, and in this case we are having the same allele, so this is homo condition, and we have to take into consideration only hetero. That's why we will be taking 2, n is 1, so we will be getting answer 2. Number of gametes we will be getting is 2. अगर मुझे फॉर्मूला नहीं पता था, even then I could have solved it by simply making out gametes. One will be having a capital A and a capital B and one will be having a small a and a capital B.